It's honestly baffling how people have jumped on the Christine hate train. Seriously, what's the deal? Her personality hasn't changed. She's always been super open about who she is and what she needs. Her extroverted, sometimes childish vibe has been clear from the start, even on the show. Yet people are trashing her for how she interacts with David, rushing into marriage, not having the greatest relationship with Mary, and speculating about her private life. I've seen people criticize her for not attending Mary's mother's funeral. Like, we don't even know if she had a close relationship with Mary's mom. The obsession doesn't stop there, though. People are now armchair diagnosing Truly and making claims about Christine's parenting. It's honestly a bit creepy. But here's the thing. Christine must be pretty likable in real life. Just look at her relationships. All her kids have strong bonds with her. Janelle is her best friend. She has a solid circle of friends, and she's close with her extended family. She encourages her kids to maintain a relationship with Kody too. The only person who's got a problem with her is Kody. I really don't get why people are hating on Christine. And to the person who says Christine hasn't changed, well, that's your opinion. Sure, you don't like her, but to say she hasn't changed because of a single moment, let's get real. People evolve, and you may just not have seen it. But hey, that's just me. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. So I'm on my 1000th rewatch, and just hit the episode where Robyn announces she's pregnant with Saul. We all know she told Mary first, because of course, Mary's always the chosen one. But does anyone else think it was a little special to spring that on Christine and Janelle in front of the entire family? I mean, they didn't even get a heads up. It's like, surprise, you're not the youngest anymore. Oh, and by the way, Robyn's pregnant. Nice. Now, to be fair, we never saw any of the other wives announce their pregnancies in private, so maybe this was just how the family did it. Christine and Janelle always mention telling Mary first, right? But here's the kicker. Robyn didn't just announce her pregnancy. Nope. They made it all about Truly being dethroned as the youngest. What a charming way to break the news. It's almost as if they wanted to make sure Christine's kid got bumped down a peg before they even congratulated Robyn. Real classy move. And watching this unfold, knowing how it all ends, is wild. There's Christine struggling through some of her worst postpartum depression. And yes, those were her words, not mine, running up to hug Robyn like nothing's wrong. And yet, somehow, she's the one who gets blamed for being a horrible sister wife. Just fantastic. But the real gem? Robyn's reaction. A woman with the maturity of a 13-year-old who can't handle a little teenage angst. Her response to the kids not exactly welcoming her as the new stepmommy-to-be. Just a big old grudge. And she carried it with her for the rest of the marriage, as if she couldn't understand that teens going through this whole "dad has a new wife, and now she's pregnant" thing might be just a little complicated. But no, she took it all personally, like everything was an attack on her precious self. Truly, it's impossible not to see through the selfish, self-serving behavior. I can't stand her. It all clicks now. Robyn's true colors finally come into focus. I caught the latest live episode from the current AUB prophet's daughter, where she and her husband dropped some serious truth bombs about Robyn's behavior. And let me tell you, the insights were chef's kiss. They outlined Robyn's entire playbook, revisionist storytelling, acting like the expert on polygamy, playing the eternal victim, always acting confused and dumb for the sympathy points, and of course, her masterclass in manipulation. In short, Robyn's entire strategy is to use God and religion as her personal get-out-of-jail-free card. She's built this whole narrative where she's the righteous wife, because hey, who can argue with someone who gets constant divine revelations and has the scriptures ready to back up any behavior? Of course, the AUB doctrine doesn't help, teaching followers to lie for God. and claim they can't remember things when it suits them. It's the classic keep sweet mentality, and it's not just Robyn, it's everywhere. The video is a must-watch, not just for the Robyn reveal, but for shedding light on Kody's behavior, especially his righteous anger. It even explains why the original 3 wives were singing a completely different tune in the first 14 seasons about polygamy. Highly recommend it. And get this, apparently Kody, Robyn, and all the ex-wives know about these videos and have watched some of them. The host even said she doesn't give a shit asterisk what anyone thinks of their commentary. That's the kind of energy I'm here for. But of course, there's always that one thing left unexplained. Meri. Why is she so condescending when it comes to Christine and Janelle's divorces? She's been throwing shade at their snarky remarks about their divorces, but then she's spilling tea herself on social media. Where's this high road she claims to be on? If someone asks Janelle or Christine a direct question, why shouldn't they serve up a truth bomb of their own? Did I hear that right? Cheating? Because I haven't seen any podcasters talk about it, and Reddit's been quiet, so I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Okay, so when Meri was hanging out with her friends, one of them, was it Brandy, brought up cheating, and not just once, but twice. Jen seemed to quickly steer the conversation away, while Meri nervously laughed it off but still changed the subject. Did I imagine that? Because I swear I heard something about cheating, and I'm pretty sure it was about Kody, definitely not the whole catfish drama. Neither Meri nor Jen wanted to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but I feel like something's brewing. Anyone else catch that? Meri's friend is clearly ready to spill all the tea, especially since she clearly can't stand Kody. And honestly, I'm here for it. I don't think Meri's quite ready to go there, but there's definitely something underneath all that awkwardness. Let's be real, Kody was cheating. He started sleeping with 3 other women while still married to Meri. You know, polygamy. So yeah, it was a joke, but not really. Watching Aurora and Brianna talk about Kody was something else. They were laughing, so happy, and acting like they really knew him. He'll give you an unfiltered response, and I appreciate that about him, they said, as if that was a good thing. It's wild how different this relationship is compared to the one he has with his own daughters. I'm not saying stepchildren deserve less, but it's pretty clear Kody has brushed off his own kids in favor of his stepkids. None of his actual daughters feel this way about him. Honestly, it makes me feel sad for them. I can't even imagine how painful it must be. I remember Gwen talking about it not too long ago. She said it hurt so much when Kody was crying about not seeing Aurora for 10 days, and yet he'd gone way longer without seeing Gwen, his actual daughter, and never seemed to care. It's not about diminishing the role of the stepkids, but he had known his biological kids longer and still acted like they were invisible. The pain from that must be excruciating. Then there's the audacity of him asking if he's a safe person for them, referring to Aurora and Brianna. Newsflash, Kody, you're not safe. You're an asshole to pretty much everyone you come into contact with. The fact that you even think you're a safe person just makes it worse when you can't even be decent to your own kids. It's downright despicable. What's even worse? The way Kody and Robyn made sure David Jessup couldn't have a relationship with his own kids, all because Kody couldn't handle the idea that Robyn had been with another man before him. They did that even at the cost of Kody's own biological kids. It's shameful. And let's be real, I think Kody's relationship with Robyn's daughters, like with all his other kids, is just conditional. Once they step out of line or he gets into a fight with Robyn, it's over. We all saw what he did to Janelle's kids, and he actually liked them. Plus, the way Robyn's daughters act? Honestly, I was taken aback. Maybe it's the years I spent as a special ed teacher, but it was hard not to notice how childlike they were. It stood out big time. After watching that bizarre scene where Kody and Robyn reminisce about their first meeting, and reflecting on Kody's behavior over the past few seasons and through his divorces, it's hard not to see a disturbing pattern. Honestly, I don't think Kody ever truly fell in love with any of his wives in the traditional sense. It seems more like he was playing some kind of game, collecting wives like trophies to boost his social status and power. It's honestly kind of sinister. And then there's Robyn, who claims she just randomly bumped into him and was eyeing him from the start. Sure, that sounds totally believable. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was all part of a carefully orchestrated plan on her end to land him the same way he acquired his previous wives. It all feels pretty calculated. They're honestly both just gross. I honestly think Kody was probably in love with Miri at one point, but she didn't pump out enough kids to keep him happy or in good graces with whatever god he's worshipping. Is Robyn seriously trying to play the "I've learned from my mistakes" card? It's almost comical, well, not haha funny, more like what planet are you living on funny. She's out here talking about how she's seen parents force their children into their church, and it hasn't gone well for them. Oh really, Robyn? You saw that? You mean you were the one doing it, right? Remember when Maddie wanted to choose her own religion, and you shut that down, saying, "As long as you're under our roof, it's our rules"? Or how about when you were practically sweating bullets because the kids weren't LDS kids when you moved to a new community? It's honestly wild that she thinks we'd forget all that. Now, I'm not saying she hasn't matured or decided to be less controlling. But what gets under my skin is how she acts like she's got it all figured out, like she came out of the womb with a manual on how to parent, and everyone else should just catch up. It's like, no, Robyn, you are the parent who forced it. You are the one who stood in front of the family and basically called Dayton a mistake, implying he was taken advantage of, but never taking a second to reflect on your role in it. I remember Christine having her issues with things, but at least Christine isn't out here pretending like she's got the moral high ground and not even acknowledging her own flaws. Not in this episode, anyway. And speaking of Robyn, let's not forget when she said they don't follow our religion, while simultaneously acting like they're the ultimate paragons of it. Oh, and those fake tears she was crying over how hard it is to hold on to the faith. Classic. Robyn's also the same one who threw a fit when the kids didn't want to sign their mission statement, or whatever they were calling it, and basically threatened to kick them out. But here's the thing I find really interesting. When I went to a Protestant church, they literally had classes on how to convert LDS members because they hated Mormons. Yet Kody's out here saying he'd be okay with LDS? Does he have any idea how these churches view Mormons? Oh, and let's not forget, some of them even hate Halloween. Sorry, Robyn, but no more King Tut and Cleopatra costumes or trick-or-treating for you. It's honestly baffling. Oh, Kotex, cutting your hair for a church leadership role. Classic. I almost spit out my drink when he claimed his old church told him he couldn't hold a higher-up position unless he chopped it off. Yeah, because we all know how much he treasures that precious mane. The mental image of him throwing a tantrum over that is just priceless. Can you imagine him actually going through with it? What a disaster. But here's the thing. No one was actually asking Kotex to step into any leadership role. Let's be real here. He's not exactly someone the church, or anyone for that matter, would trust with any position of authority. This is a man so out of touch with reality that even his schoolmates couldn't stand him. So it's safe to say the church wasn't lining up to hand him the keys to anything. Honestly, the church never offered him any leadership position. I think he married Christine with some grand delusion that it would somehow make him a church bigwig. I'm sure he wasn't totally against her as a person, but let's be honest, she was more of an accessory to his ego. If he really cared about her, he wouldn't have been eyeing another girl from the so-called church royalty at the same time. And as for his hair, he didn't even grow that long, flowing mane until he realized the show was in the works. Suddenly, it was his signature look, as if the church was going to mistake him for some divine figure. Newsflash, they didn't. The church had plenty of reasons to dislike Kotex, but it wasn't about his hair. It was about his self-absorbed personality and how badly he mishandled his family. Everything he does is about feeding his own ego. He thought polygamy was his ticket to fame, not some deep spiritual calling. He talks about doctrine like he actually follows it, but we all know it's just about him feeling important. And no, the church didn't have any issues with his hair, just with him. But hey, that's easier to twist into another excuse, right? His hair's just another prop in his ridiculous show of self-importance. So Kody claims there was no favor to Robyn. Really? He literally adopted her children, but he wasn't even listed as the father of any of his own 13 kids. That's just the kind of logic we're working with here. I'm so over Kody and Robyn playing the victim card and using therapy jargon like it's some sort of shield. It would be nice if Kody could just come out and say, yeah, I basically chose a new family, and apologize to his original wives and kids. Just say it. Apologize for the fact that his original 13 kids were left fatherless while he played the perfect husband and father to Robyn's kids. He even divorced one wife to be legally listed as the father of kids who already had a father. But when it came to his own biological children, nah, he couldn't bother to be listed as their father. His original kids were left with nothing while he scrambled for legal rights to Robyn's kids. How does that make any sense? I know they needed his name for medical and food purposes, but honestly, the more I learn about Kody's actions, the more disheartening it becomes. Wasn't it Janelle who said Kody put his name on all her kids' birth certificates? If that's true, then what's his excuse for his own biological children? I've always had this gut feeling Kody was cheating with Robyn, but not in the way you might think. I'm not talking about some secret fling before Robyn joined the family. I'm talking about the moment Kody decided to put all his emotional, physical, and mental energy into Robyn and her kids, basically leaving his other wives in the dust. It wasn't even subtle. They all saw it, except maybe Mary, who still won't admit it. But then again, she's the one who claimed they were separated for 10 years, so maybe she just wasn't paying attention. Janelle didn't care though, because she had her own independence. But Christine? She's been calling it out from day one. It's pretty clear now, the kids are just reacting like any kids would when their family is torn apart by their dad's cheating. I can't believe I missed this the first time around. So I'm rewatching season 17, episode 8, where Robyn and Mary have a heart-to-heart about Christine leaving Kody. The conversation shifts to how Christine's departure isn't just about Kody, it affects everyone. Robyn says, "It's hard to sit there and just watch a bomb go off in my family." Did you catch that? The emphasis on my. Everyone else is talking about our family, but Robyn is all about herself. Classic Robyn. It's such a clear sign that, to her, everything is always about her, and now, surprise, it's all backfired. I just went back to watch the part you mentioned, and wow, Robyn's mad, but not because of the breakup. It's because it's blowing back on her. She literally says, "Kody is now questioning me left and right about things I thought he knew about me. He's struggling to trust everyone around him." Newsflash, Robyn, the people around him are just you. You're the common denominator here. And don't even get me started on how she triangulates in this scene. She's talking to Mary, and there's this weird little smirk on her face like she's getting some sick pleasure out of it. Then Mary starts questioning her own relationship, and Robyn's like, "Hang on and rebuild." Translation: if Mary doesn't, Robyn's going to shame and blame her just like she did Christine. This whole conversation? It's a warning from Robyn. Classic manipulation at its finest. Christine's engagement party was definitely something. Honestly, it looked like a bunch of people who just decided to swing by a casual taco joint for some food, and that's exactly what it was. The background was a parade of random strangers munching on tacos and ordering at the counter. I don't know why, but when I saw Christine walk in wearing a white dress, I kind of expected a whole rented-out venue vibe, you know? Instead, it was more like, let's just grab a seat and eat tacos. I'll give credit where credit's due, though. The taco meat looked pretty good rotating on the spit. Gotta give props for that. But honestly, let's talk about the Browns for a second. As much as I hate to say it, they're not exactly setting the bar for class. Not Kody, not Robyn, not even Saint Christine or Saint Janelle. They only seem to do formal events if TLC is picking up the tab. And even then, I don't think I've seen them host anything that could even be remotely called upscale. Christine's wedding could have been nice, had it not been for the impromptu lap dance during the reception. Classy, right? Did anyone else find it totally bizarre when Kody said he needed to learn how to sit in the back seat when it came to Robyn's daughters finding religion? Seriously, hasn't he already been through this whole thing with his own kids, both sons and daughters? It feels like he's way more involved with Robyn's kids than anyone else's, and if I were one of his other children, I would absolutely be hurt by that comment. And let's not forget, didn't Kody himself admit that his previous closed-mindedness caused problems with his other daughters? I was actually stunned to see him show even a tiny bit of self-awareness in that moment. Not that I expect it to last, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Is it just me, or is it incredibly bizarre that Robyn's daughters, both in their 20s and in college, still have to run every decision by their parents? Like, do they really need permission to go to church or date? And don't even get me started on the whole ear-piercing incident with the oldest one. Like, seriously, she's an adult, yet Robyn had to go with her for that? That's a whole new level of strange. What's even weirder is that these adult daughters act like children. It's hard to miss how miserable they look. You can't help but compare them to the OG 13 girls. They're confident, independent, and clearly not under the thumb of their parents. I mean, sure, people love to criticize the OG 3's parenting, but they raised kids who know how to handle life. Robyn, on the other hand, has essentially raised hers to be terrified of everything, and it shows. And then there's Dayton. Has anyone seen him this season? I think I spotted him in the background at Thanksgiving. But who even knows when that footage was filmed? They recycle that stuff every year. It's like Dayton broke free from all of this. He's the one who managed to escape, while Robyn's kids are stuck in this bizarre, overprotected bubble. Let's talk about how Christine raised her kids, hands off. She let them figure things out on their own, solve problems, and develop some independence. Robyn, on the other hand, micromanages every aspect of her kids' lives. They're so stunted it's honestly sad. Imagine Aurora getting a job someday. Her first performance review? A full-blown meltdown. It'd be a disaster. At the end of the day, the job of a parent is to prepare their kids to leave the nest, not keep them dependent forever. That means letting them make mistakes, learn lessons, and develop the skills to stand on their own. Aurora's 22, Brianna's 20. They're way past the age where they should be constantly relying on their mom for reassurance. Asking for advice? Fine, but these girls can't even take a step forward without Robyn's approval. Even in her conversation with Kody, Robyn was practically dictating how they should choose a church and who they should date. It's not just weird, it's not healthy. Did Janelle go to Mary's mom's funeral? I'm watching the latest episode, and it definitely sounds like Mary says Janelle and Kody went. I really hope that's the case, because the thought of no one going is just brutal. And let's be real, Robyn, definitely not the friend we all wish for in this situation. Mary doesn't seem shy about calling that out either, which is a nice change. Now I get it. Bonnie's passing was unexpected and happened quickly. Travel arrangements, childcare, it's a logistical nightmare when you're on a tight timeline. If it came down to choosing between Robyn and Kody, sure, I can see why Kody would go. But here's where it gets really ugly. Not only did Robyn not make it to the funeral, but she also wasn't supportive afterward. And that's the part that really stings. Same goes for Christine. No attendance, no support. Sure, none of these women are BFFs, but they've all been in this family for about 30 years. They've all had mothers and can probably understand what it's like to lose one. To just sit by and not support someone through their grief is beyond me. It's hard to understand how anyone can do that, no matter the history. Kody, in his infinite wisdom, thinks he's saving a plot on Coyote Pass for the kids to hang out. His comment about one half of the family has decided they're still a family is the kind of drama he's obsessed with. But let's be real, it's not that deep, buddy. The family actually likes being around each other. Christine's been hosting get-togethers all along, and guess what? People actually show up. Not only that, they enjoy themselves. It's obvious that most of the family loves Christine and actively chooses to spend time with her. And let's face it, that's exactly what gets under Kody's skin. He seems to think that once they have a plot on Coyote Pass, everyone will magically show up and start bonding. Newsflash, Kody, they could have been doing that at your house if it wasn't a dumpster fire. Sure, Christine can get a little intense about her new relationship with David and the whole speed of it all thing, but at least she tries. She and Janelle make family time easy, creating memories and making everyone feel included. But Kody's ego, that's the real problem. It's like he believes the magic solution to everything is a plot of land or a fancy new mansion, and people will just come running back to him. Spoiler, that's not how it works. If he thinks that will fix everything, he's in for a wake-up call. That one line from him just really set me off. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.